All right. Well, thanks for tuning to another episode of the Why Influence podcast, where we interview influencers about why they're sharing and how they became the person they are today. Today, we got an awesome guest. His name is Sean from Sean's Outdoor Adventures. He's got a YouTube channel with roughly 78,000 subscribers, and you've got about 11.5 million views on YouTube. And it's quite a lot. So you've been
Yeah,
creating a lot of content. You've been, making a big difference by sharing your wisdom with people out there. So I just want to, first of all, just say thank you for taking the time to come on here and share with us today.
sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So before we jump into it, can you just tell me like a one or two sentence summary about what your brand is about?
So Sean's Outdoor Adventures is it kind of is originated to share my outdoor knowledge, and a large part of that is also to bring God into the mix a little bit gently to encourage people to not forget about God. But I try to do it in a very soft way, so just little things here and there. So that's the main thing is sharing outdoors, teaching people different things in archery and hunting, and also slipping a little bit of God in there for them.
Yeah, I like that. And I like how you slip that in because I've watched quite a few of your videos now. And, I recently got a bow, so I've learned some stuff from you. And I like how you slip that in, but then also use it to be like, people have to track that to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
win things.
yeah.
Uh, so, before we jump into the interview, can you share a story about maybe someone that's reached out to you that said that you've made a positive impact on them in some way that maybe you didn't expect?
Yeah, the first person that came to my mind is named Jerry Canoyer. When I was in Pennsylvania a couple years ago before I moved to Iowa, I had been invited to talk at a men's sportsman's banquet, which is usually a church related event. And so, I periodically get invited to those types of things. So, this one guy who recently had started watching my channel and he was actually very inspired by the faith component that I mentioned. And he said that I really helped him, rejuvenate or strengthen that relationship with Jesus that he had. And he was so much inspired that he drove, I think it was 4 hours. I can't even remember now. It was several hours. He drove several hours to check out my talk, to support me in
Wow.
by being there. And I was just, wow. I was like, wow, that was so generous of you. So he was touched by some of what I did, and so much so that he wanted to show his support by showing up at this talk. I mean, because it was very north of where I lived, so I drove several hours to get there. But he could drive across from where he lives up in like the New England area. So he drove good ways just to check it out and to be a sport. So that was, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I never would have expected something like that. Like somebody wanted to show their support and because they were touched by something I did. So stuff like that is just mind blowing.
Yeah, and it's not like you expected that when you first started out that someone would
Not even
drive,
remotely.
yeah,
Not
like
even
a stranger
remotely.
would drive 4 hours to come see you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember how far it was, but I knew he drove a distance, whether it was 1 hour or 4 hours. It was a long. It was
Yeah,
still just to go that much out of your way to say, hey, I want to show up, check out your talk, and support you and stuff. So
that's
it was
awesome.
cool.
All right, so would you just say that YouTube's your main platform?
Yeah, I would say for sure.
Okay. So if you don't mind, can we just sort of go back and forth on some of the biggest tips? So like if we met a new person who wanted to start a YouTube channel
Yeah.
or wanted to or just started wants to ramp things up,
You know what?
what
Let
would be
me let me actually step this back a little bit and just kind of tell you real quick of how this happened for me.
okay?
And so like I've been doing it 10 years or so, and I just uploaded a video to YouTube because I was bored and I needed an outlet to do something. So I uploaded like some archery videos. Never expected it. I never tried, wasn't trying to do it. I just was like, I'm bored. I want an outlet for boredom.
All right, and
And
we'll dive deeper into that in a bit.
yeah. And a couple years went by and I still wasn't paying attention to it. And then all of a sudden I realized I'm like, what? Wait, I have 5,000 subscribers. What's going on here? So then I started to pay a little more attention, and we can come back to that if you want to. But so I just want you to know, like I didn't start out with a game plan or trying to go anywhere with it. And at one point in time, I realized, like, wait a minute, I should do something about this. So when I started to try to figure out how to improve things, and what the biggest thing I realized is when I started out, I wanted to be I wanted it to be about hunting and be like a professional hunter kind of guy. And what I began to realize is the real draw on my channel was archery. And a lot of the people weren't even into hunting. So here's the big tip is when you start uploading content, be ready to be flexible and change your motion, your direction, because if you're gaining fans in a certain area and it's not the main area you were setting out to, you either are going to let go of what you set out to do and embrace what people are looking for, or you're just not going to have the growth, maybe, if that's what you want. So when I got to the point where I let go of my original intention and said, okay, let me do a little bit more of this, and then my growth started to improve a little bit. So that would be a tip I would give to people, especially if you're starting YouTube because you want to have a successful YouTube channel. That would be one thing, is be ready to be flexible in as far as the type of content. But
And
with
just
it,
real quick,
go ahead.
just on that, I would also encourage you to experiment. So not only Sean's advice for giving people what they want, he wouldn't have had that if he didn't have the archery stuff in there. So the more you can
Right.
experiment early on, I think helps.
Yeah, and this even fits into the big model overall. Like, what I began to realize over the years is diversify your content, like try some different stuff. So most of my stuff is archery and hunting, and that's what most people expect. But once in a while, I'll do a home improvement project. And I have one video that was a home improvement project on how to finish your basement and avoid toxic mold, because I have actually all these environmental degrees. I used to own an environmental company, and I have all this knowledge. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to do this video. It's not related to hunting and archery, but that video does better than half of my other ones. And I've done some other home improvement stuff that it doesn't do as well. It's just that one video took off. And that's one of the challenges with YouTube as well, is you can do multiple videos. The first one takes off and does great. And so you're like, okay, let me do more of those. And you do more, you try to keywords all the same, all the different stuff, and it just doesn't go anywhere. And you just have to almost get lucky with YouTube promoting the video. That's the whole key, is YouTube promoting your video, because subscribers, it's great to have subscribers, but they make a small percentage of your views, at least in my experience, and the people I talk to. So you just have to kind of keep pecking away. Diversify is good, and try to hit the types of things that your people want to see, that your subscribers do want to see. Because another thing I've noticed is, if I upload what my subscribers want to see, then a lot more of them click on it if they're notified. If it's not something they're interested in, they don't click on it. And then YouTube says, okay, people aren't clicking on this, so we're not going to promote it. And so it's just, there's all those little intricate balancing details that you got to kind of deal with at trying to have something that takes off on YouTube.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because
Yeah.
I've talked to people that have said you really got to stay in your lane. And for someone like you who's been doing this for 10 years, you might get tired of sharing all your videos on archery, at some point, potentially. And
well, and the other thing, people say stay in your lane, but the way I approach it is I go and do these other videos once in a while that are totally unrelated, because I'm trying to pick up new people, and it's all about being found. And so what I'll do is I'll give these other videos and say, hey, my main thing is archery and hunting. If you're interested in that, check out some more of my videos. So they're a little fishing hook is what those other videos are. And I'm looking for people who might come over and engage in the main core content. So I did a video on how to cut your own hair a couple of years ago. And because I've been cutting my own hair since I was 17. And I basically got sick of coming home from the barber and fixing what they did and I didn't like, So I'm like, why am I paying? I'll just do it myself. So I did this video, and when the coronavirus thing hit, a lot of people had to figure out how to cut their own hair. So that video started getting views all of a sudden out of the blue. And again, I just said, hey, if you're interested in archery, come check out some of these other videos. Same with that basement finishing video to avoid toxic mold. I started off saying, hey, this is Sean McVeigh, Sean's Outdoor Adventures. I'm most known for my archery and hunting videos, but I have a lot of knowledge on this topic, so I'm going to share it with you. But if you'd like to check out some of those videos, make sure you do that. So call to action. Um, it's always gearing people, trying to send people back to my main thing. And so, like, for example, this time of year is the slowest time of year for my niche. Like, my biggest time of the year is September, October, November, December. That's when my views quadruple, that time of year. And then this time of year, no one's really thinking about hunting a whole lot, so they're not tuning into those types of videos or archery videos. The
Yeah.
archery starts to really ramp up in the summer when people start thinking about getting ready for hunting season. So videos like that basement finishing video, that's always in my top 3 almost all year round, because it gets so many views. Here's the thing that was successful about that video is it's a long video, and I give so much information that people can't click off. It's not even like entertaining at all. It's just me spewing out all this information, and people who are like wanting to know, like, how do I avoid getting mold in my basement, they just keep listening and keep listening. So YouTube is like, hey, this is a great video. It keeps people on our platform, and that's what you need to shoot for. YouTube wants people on their platform. And so if you have a video that can keep people on their platform, they are happy. They're going to promote the video. And so that video is just a constant, good performing video. I have another video, shocker. Okay, so there's people who go overboard trying to produce and make it look like a TV show and all professional. You really don't even need that to be successful on YouTube. I have this one video on how to call whitetail deer. It was my first video to go over 1 million views of it on its own. And I walked out in my backyard, set up a camera, hit record. I had the call hanging around my neck, a couple in my hands, and I just started talking. 20 minutes later, I finished, turned the record off. I wasn't even like the happiest with it. I'm like, oh, I could have gave so much more detail here and there, but I uploaded it. It took me like no time to do and produce, and it's my top performer. Like, that video alone during hunting season, like, YouTube keeps promoting it because people sit there and watch the whole thing. They're sitting there for 20, 25 minutes. They're not clicking off because they're like, I'm giving detail after detail, and they want to learn. And so YouTube sees that and promotes it because of that. So during hunting season, that video alone makes as much money as my whole channel does right now this time of year. And we can talk more about dollars and cents when we get to that point. But so my point is, it doesn't even have to be overly produced. You don't have to, if you are providing something that keeps people engaged. And entertainment isn't the only thing that keeps people engaged. Good information keeps people engaged as well. So if you have something to say, as you were saying earlier, Jeremy, about people having a voice and having something to say, if you have something to say that people want to hear, they're going to stay on the video. And that's what makes a video successful on YouTube, is a video that people stay on.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Here we got Bulldogs 92 just showed up. Thanks for tuning in.
What's up, Bulldogs?
So I liked what you said, because you talked about how you create your content in a niche, and you have this expertise in other places, and you found a way to share that expertise in a way that you could draw people into the channel. And I think that's something that a lot of people could benefit from, that I've even talked to, because they think, okay, well, I can only create content on my thing, but by prefacing it and saying, I normally create content like this, but I've got expertise in this. Let me share this with you.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And everybody who's listening or watching, always think diversify, because in any business, anything, the more you can diversify, the more successful you have a chance of being. Because, I mean, in my lifetime, I've watched businesses come and go. Things that were like mainstays are gone now, like phone books. When I was a kid, phone books were like, that's where you went when you wanted to find a way to find a store. Or people don't even use phone books anymore. It's a thing of the past. And if you don't diversify, you could end up being that thing of the past. You know what I mean? So always diversify, trying new things. Don't be afraid to do that. And it's so my channel. Actually, let's see. I have the app on my phone for the YouTube app, and I often am opening it because I respond to every comment I possibly can. So I'm 11 subscribers away from 78,000. So probably today or tomorrow I'll hit 78,000 subscribers. Um,
Nice. Well,
and
if you're watching now, make sure to hit that
yeah, come
subscribe
on,
button.
Thub. Sean's Outdoor Adventures, hook me up. Let's break it today. So yeah, so but the thing is, there's a lot of people who have channels like mine who aren't even close to that. And I really attribute it to some of that diversification is because I'm finding viewers outside of the niche right now. Like you have to find people that would be interested in watching what you're watching. And like I was telling you about that basement finishing video, I'm getting tens of thousands of views on that for people who aren't searching hunting or archery. But when they
Right.
find out that I'm hunting and archery, maybe they're going to convert to watching that content. So it's a huge thing. You use whatever skills or knowledge you have and channel it into your mainstay. I think it really helps in the big picture. And even if a lot of those attempts aren't successful, like I did a video on how to replace the whole water filter system on a well pump, and it might have got 1 or 2 thousand views, and that was probably about it. And that one didn't necessarily take off, but hey, I was going
Yeah.
to do the job anyway. Why not hit record and throw it up there? You never know, it could have been a big hit, who knows. But
Yeah.
so just if you know what you're doing, just offer it, and then direct people back.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great advice. So let's backtrack a little bit to
Yeah.
where we started all this. And 10 years ago, you started creating content and sharing it on YouTube because you said you were bored. So can we talk a little bit about that? Like, what does your first video, look like? Did you talk in it? Did you have your face? Did you feel comfortable
Yeah,
sharing?
I'm a camera guy. I don't mind standing in front of a camera. Like, I was a kind of a class clown type of guy in high school and stuff. So I don't mind standing in front of the camera. So my first couple of videos, though, it was just me getting in front of it, like maybe a video on how to shoot a bow. So I'm standing in front of it with a bow, talking about, you do this, you do that, you do the other thing, and and that was it. When I first started, you actually could not make more than a 10-minute long video on YouTube. They wouldn't allow you to upload it. And then at one point in time, you could apply to be given permission to allow videos longer than 15 minutes. So YouTube has changed quite a bit over the years. But at that time, I was almost speed talking to try to fit everything in less than 10 minutes, like, And back in the standard definition days before HD, I mean, people had HD. I didn't. I just had a standard definition camera. So quality wasn't the best. And, so that was where it all started.
Yeah. Okay. And so you just did it because you're bored. You just were fun. You sharing online, documenting just.
Yeah. So, so the situation was I'm Catholic. All right. And I wanted to inspire people in their faith and be like a guest speaker traveling around. And that's not a real common thing in the Catholic Church. I mean, we don't have a huge, well, it's grown a lot since then, but anyway, I was trying to do that and nobody would like give me a chance. I was kind of getting a little frustrated. I'm like, all right, well, I need an outlet. So I started to like post videos on YouTube, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll post a few faith related. So I started a separate channel for that. So it was really, I was just frustrated and bored in life, and I was just looking for outlets to share. And YouTube was a free place where I was allowed to share, and nobody was going to say, no, we don't know who you are, so you can't share anything. So that's how it started for me. And like I mentioned before, I wasn't even taking it seriously. And when I first started, I didn't view it as a community. I just viewed it as me spewing. I was sharing, I was just blah blah.
Yeah.
But even Jeremy and I, we were talking, and you view your podcast as doing something for the community, and that's one of the big changes that I've had over the years. Is I've started to view this as a community, like these are actually people out there. I'm making an effort to care about them, and it's not just about me saying what I want to say. It's about trying to provide something that may benefit those people, and then if they comment, try to take an interest in who they are and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So when you
Yeah.
created those early videos, did you share them with people you knew in the real world, or you just literally just put them out
I
online and
just I just posted them. I think I might have I might not even have known you could share a link back then. You know, I mean, like I might have told my mom, "Hey, mom, I posted a video on YouTube if you want to check it
yeah,
out." You know, because your mom cares, but who else does? You know, so yeah, it was just at that time
okay.
I just was throwing videos out there and whatever. And
So
one of
it's
the
like,
videos,
oh,
it
go ahead.
was like an archery video. It kind of stuck, and that's what really kind of catapulted everything. So we kind of talked a little bit. You know, you got to keep throwing videos out until you find one or two that actually stick. And I have over 400 uploads. I don't even know how many it is now. But out of the 400, now think about it, 400 videos. Out of those, you might have 15 or 20 that are particularly successful. So you're just like, meh. They're some of them are really good videos that they just didn't get a whole lot of views because YouTube didn't. You're kind of at the mercy of YouTube in a certain sense of what they decide to promote. And I do think it's you know it's become more saturated in general, so it's harder now, I'd say, to have a video kind of take off.
Right.
And before I understood any of that, I had this one video that was very successful, and then I started to look at the analytics. The video was an hour long. It was a hunting video that talked. It's called "How to Hunt Whitetail Deer," and it goes through different aspects of strategies for different situations, which it's a good video. But I looked at the analytics, and it was average view time was 6 minutes. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing putting out these hour-long videos when people are only watching 6 minutes? So then I tried to make all these videos 6 minutes long, and my views just tanked. And really, it's because I didn't understand at the time. There's still that element of engagement. Like YouTube wants people to stay on their platform. And let's say somebody clicks on the video and watches about 5 minutes. Oh, I got to get back to work. I'll watch more later. So they pause it and come back. I didn't know that could be the case. You could have somebody else watching it for 35 or an hour, 35 minutes or an hour.
Right.
So the shorter videos were less successful, and I had taken that video down after it was so successful, and that really hurt my channel because it was like the top ranked in Google search at the time. I didn't understand any of that either. So yeah, don't be quick to take down a successful video.
So I guess it's a little bit of sidetrack, but why did you take the video down if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, I just well, I thought, okay, well, if people are only watching 6 minutes and getting bored, maybe I'll talk faster, make shorter videos to try to make them more engaging, and then they'll watch the whole 6 minutes, you know. And it was I just didn't have the understanding at the time of what the analytics meant
Yeah.
and what to do with it, you know.
So you
And
took it down because you were trying to optimize things. So it's
yeah,
like a trial.
I looked at that 6 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, let's make them all 6 minutes. And that way, you know, people are watching the whole thing. And then I would put them in a playlist and maybe they'll watch one to the next, to the next, to the next. And I'll get all this, you know, view time. And so, but that wasn't the case. So,
Yeah. All right. So you got to a point where you had around 5,000-ish subscribers, and then you're like, okay, well, this is the thing. I want to take this more
well, it's
seriously.
actually, yeah, I can't remember the exact number. It was somewhere between 5 and 10 or 12,000 where I finally was like, well, wait a second here, what's going on? Um, and then I started to kind of look at analytics a little bit, and that's just before I even realized like I had a certain type of audience, which was mainly archery. Okay, so I had all these subscribers, and it's really because I had this one super successful archery video, tips to improve archery accuracy. I'm not sure what it the last time I looked, it was probably over 600,000 or 700,000 views, and that was a while back. I don't know where it's at now. It kind of YouTube kind of stopped promoting it. So once it got up to about there, it just kind of fizzled. But up until that time, it was a heavily watched and respected video. And a lot of people would have people see me in public say, "Oh, I saw your video, the archery video," because
Yeah.
of that one video. And so a lot of people were into the archery. They subscribed because of that. And when I would put like a hunting video up, some people were even offended, so they would unsubscribe. And so I kind of went through this period of then I started to struggle with letting go of what I was originally thinking the channel would be was mainly hunting. And then I just kind of said, okay, let's do it all, but let's have videos that cater to the archery only people rather than try to make them want what I wanted, you know.
Yeah.
So, and at that point in time, I started to say, okay, well, what kind of videos can I make that make me happy, make them happy, and a little bit of all of it. And then that's when I started to change as far as thinking about what videos I was making.
Okay. And so what did you end up deciding then? I mean, I guess how long ago would you say that was roughly? It doesn't have to be exact.
Okay, so 2010 is when I started, I think, and it was probably 2014, 2015, maybe
Okay.
around there, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's like, if you look at the curve of my channel, um, I mean, if it, I don't remember the exact numbers, but like it may have taken me five five years. Let's see, maybe 6 or 7 years to hit 20,000 subscribers. I don't remember now, but then it just like once you hit that certain point, then it really starts to go.
Right.
The more subscribers you have, the more likely YouTube is to say, okay, this person has some kind of a following. Let's try promoting some of their stuff because obviously they've got something. And so YouTube's more inclined to promote your stuff. I think the bigger you get, like no matter who you are, they'll throw a video up once in a while for you. Like I've had videos show up in my feed where people have like 200 subscribers,
Yeah.
and that's showing up in a lot of people's feed, and that person may take off. But the more following you have, the more likely YouTube is, I think, in my experience, to
I
throw your
agree.
videos
Yeah.
out there for people as a suggestion.
Yeah.
So
Because you
so
have that
then you
initial listener base, so you can just,
yeah,
have X number of views coming out the gate and then see the engagement, and then YouTube can sort of go off that
yeah,
as opposed to a video with minimal analytics.
yeah. And here's another. I want to make sure this is said because this was a huge um, humbling experience for me in YouTube. So it took me whatever it was, 7 years, 7 years to hit 25,000 subscribers. It took a long time, and it was hard. It was not easy, and so I was looking at that, and I had somebody reach out to me who had like maybe 5,000 subscribers who wanted to do like a collaboration. So then I started to look into it. It was around that time I started to look into collaborations, which are good. It's hard in my genre. It's really hard to find people who are even willing to do it, though. I've probably sent out 5 or 600, and this is not an exaggeration. I've probably sent out about 5 or 600 collaboration requests or invitations, and I've had about 3 or 4
Wow.
say, okay. So if any of you are thinking of doing that, you have to be ready to persevere. Well, and it depends on what type of videos you're making. I mean, I'm dealing with mostly dudes who hunt and shoot bows, and communication isn't always strong amongst guys like that. Just generalizing, either that or they just don't care. And so it's been tough. But anyway, this guy reached out to me, and he wanted to do the collaboration. I'm like, all right, well, I'm thinking to myself, you probably should find some more people your size. 5,000 subscribers. That was like 3, 4 years ago for me. You're a few years behind me. So this is the pride. Okay, this is the pride of
Right.
thinking here, and I eventually met up with him and did a collaboration. And at the time, I was probably that we met up. I think I had about 28,000 subscribers, and he had about maybe 10. And so it was really fun. It was one of my funnest videos I ever put out. Really, I mean, we had a great time doing this collaboration thing. Well, he eventually had a video go viral not long later after that, and overnight he went. This video in 1 week had over 1 million views, and he went from 10,000 subscribers, and within a couple weeks he was over 100,000 subscribers. He flew right past
Wow.
me, and I was nice to him. We talked, we video chatted kind of like this multiple times, um, but I didn't take him seriously at all. And then he dropped me like a ton of bricks. Once he was where he was at, he unsubscribed to my channel, stopped stop talking to me and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, whatever. Um, but congratulations to him for being so successful. Last time I looked, I think he had like 900 some thousand subscribers. Now I
Wow.
want to give you one other example here. Um, Probably a month ago, I signed on. I sign on YouTube a lot because I try to respond to comments, like everybody that comments. So I spend a lot of time, responding to people. And when you sign on, obviously you see a list of videos right there. And there was a guy that popped up. It was an archery related video, and he had maybe 40,000 subscribers. So I clicked on his video and watched him. Like, oh, this guy's he's pretty good producer. And like a week or two goes by, and I see his channel again. Now he's at 60,000. So like in a week, he grew by 20,000 subs. I'm like, hey, I sent him an email. I was like, you want to do a collaboration of any type? And by the time he even responded, he was equal to me. He was like 77,000 subscribers, again in just like a very short period of time. And that one video that I clicked on, now it was getting close to 1.5 million views. And just like that, he's like, "Oh, I watch your videos. Oh, that'd be cool." And then within days, he's like, "I'm just too busy. I'm getting too many requests," and he just blew right past me. The
Wow.
point is, and I had already learned from the other person is don't blow people off. Be respectful. I mean, sometimes I get people asking me to do a collaboration with them, and they've got 200 subscribers. And hey, it's like I understand your desire to grow, but um, we all work for it too, and it's not just a free ride. So I try to balance it, and for me, it's a part. To me, I feel called by God to make these types of videos to try to gently bring him into the mix. So there's that reason, and I don't know what God's plan is for everybody else. So I'm not quick to just say, okay, let's do this for you. But I always pray for those people and stuff like that. But my point is, those of you who are producing content of any type, is you never know that person who's going to blow right by you, who's asking you for help now, and then it's like, oh, now that you're looking up at them and saying, oh wow, you want to help me out, kind of a thing. Um, so that's a reality. It was a good humbling moment for me. And so I have changed as a person. And that's the whole thing for me. No matter what you do, if you're looking to be better than you were before, you're going to have good life lessons like that. And I share that to help, not just in your whole production, those of you who are listening and watching, but just in general in life. Just give everybody that respect, and give people that consideration, and because you just never know. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
those throw that in there, Jeremy.
No, that was
I think it's valuable.
yeah, that was valuable advice. I mean, I've seen, different people, explode like you had mentioned. You never know who is going to do that, or you never know. You should always treat people with respect so that
Yeah,
can feel good
yeah,
about, regardless of the outcome. Is
yeah.
really it. But
And
when you were
uh,
talking, because we had talked a little bit, and I know like, bandwidth wise, you're a little bit low for a podcast, but like something around lines of what you just talked about would be like a perfect, just like solo episode on a podcast. I could just imagine someone sitting there listening to that piece of advice and then just having that as a nugget for the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks. Just to so all the people listening can hear what we were talking about. Like, I've really played with the idea for a couple of years to do a podcast. It just, I just don't have the time and energy, it seems, right now. And it's going to stay on my radar. I'd still like to do it, but yeah. So that's what Jeremy was kind of
Yeah.
referencing there.
Thanks. So you've been creating this content for 10 years now. Like what are you looking forward to? I guess like what's the future look like, or what's something that you're thinking about doing differently, moving forward from here?
Well, and here's another big tip for people who are wanting to, do YouTube. And the people who I mentioned who blew right by me, what I've come to realize is uh, a big component to having a huge success on YouTube is to at least get one video go viral. I've never really had a video kind of go viral to the capacity that those people did that I was referring to. I have had some that would been exceptionally successful and really catapulted my channel. And so when I look to the future, I think more along the lines of, rather than just making videos, I think, what is a type of video that I could make that might have the potential of, going sort of viral in that regard, because that would help the channel grow. And so I throw that little nugget out for the listeners: as you think of your content and your presentation of it, think of what would be a way that I could present that really could, take off and really just get those clicks. And that's a hard one to figure out. Otherwise, everybody would have already figured it out. But as you create, just think about that, and it may help you just unravel that one little gold nugget you've been looking for, and think, oh yeah, that video could really help. Now I'm going to say something too, in line is, I hope is okay. I don't know if you were planning to go a different direction, but
Oh, no, go for it.
as you think of like videos that go take off and go viral, I'll share my probably most successful video ever. I took it down. So I was selected to be on this hunting TV show, and the company that picked me asked me to come out for a training thing. And just before all that, I was asked by a major bow manufacturer to do some live episodes for them on their website. And I was like, okay, so I was like, this is cool. Things are starting to take off for me. And I read the contract for the show very carefully. It said nothing about my own YouTube channel. All it said was, when I film for their show, I have to use their sponsors' materials. No big deal. No problem with that. So I signed the contract, and I went to the training thing, and I was coming home from the training thing, and they realized that I was giving away a bow on my YouTube channel from this other manufacturer, and the bow manufacturer sponsoring the TV show was a different brand, and so they booted me off the show. And so I was like, well, I said, let me just give you an encouragement. When you're searching for people on YouTube to be part of your show, this is a separate entity, and we have to sustain our thing too, So anyway, I gave them some thoughts on the whole thing. Well, I made a video because a lot of my fans were like so excited that I was going to be on this TV show, and now I'm not going to be, so I wanted to let them know. And I called it "Dumped by," the name of the company. And it was very respectfully done, the video. I said, listen, guys, it just, because of the way it worked out with the sponsors, that they asked me to step down from the show, or they booted me off the show. But I said, please don't look at them any differently. Don't look at them negatively, et cetera, et cetera. I was encouraging everybody to take the high road with me, in a sense. And but because of the title of that, "Dumped by," it's a negative, and I mean, my channel took off from when that video. I was getting, so normally, like right now, this time of year, I'll gain like anywhere from 40 to 70 subscribers a day right now. When that video aired, I was gaining like 400 and 500 subscribers a day, because it was just YouTube promoted it,
Yeah.
and people were clicking because of the negative, the dump thing, and so and then I saw a interview with somebody from YouTube who was questioned on that, like one of the executives, like, hey, why, YouTube clearly promotes, drama. Why is that? So my point is, yes, sometimes drama is more likely to take off, but here's the drawback. If you take that road, the people you're going to attract are going to bring you a lot of drama. Like a lot of those subscribers, I mean, they were so critical of stuff. Like I would post other videos, and they would just like rip into me. I'm like, I don't want this, I don't
Right.
want all this negativity. This wasn't here before. So the point is, it's not so much, in my opinion, don't make it so much about growing and subscribing, but grow with the people that you want around you. So I kind of stepped back, and I kind of was like, you know what, in my early years of the channel, I was a little more afraid to bring the faith component in, because I was just afraid of how people would take that. And and I think that fits into something you were asking me earlier, Jeremy, like what prevents me from kind of using the voice I feel called to use. And I did start all this because I wanted to slip God in there, but I was afraid. I was afraid people would unsubscribe or not follow. But then I got to a point, I was like, you know what? That's why I'm here. That's a major part of why I'm here. Those are the people I want around me. Those are the people I'm going to attract if I let that out. And so now the community I have around me, a lot of them are Christians. They're people who believe in God. And that means a lot of the people are a lot more respectful and supportive. So, you know, after a while, I took that one video down. Hey, yeah, it was making my channel grow exponentially compared to what it was, but it really wasn't worth it, And
Right.
so I made a decision. And as hard as I tried to be positive and keep it positive, people still took it the wrong way anyway. And some people were like lashing out at me, calling me names like, oh, whatever. Um, so anyway, I just sharing
Yeah.
that,
I think it's
as people
important
think,
to,
yeah,
have a little, get the people in the community that you want in your community. And if that
yeah,
video is bringing you people that, you didn't want in that community, it's going to be more toxic, then,
yeah.
it wasn't worth it. So it's an interesting approach that you've taken to sort of, keep your community the way that you want, and you have to nurture that, which is,
Yeah. And that's what those of you who are listening, think about the kind of people that you would want to be in your family, in a sense, like that you want to attract. Do you want to attract the drama? Then put out drama content. But if you want to attract people who are more level-headed, and I'll also say this. I mean, archery itself is its own animal. Like, even though I do the religious side, like I posted a video like a day or two ago that I've been having people rip into me from that video, and it's really because they really like the one brand that I compared two boats, and the one brand I felt was the clear, distinct winner in pretty much just about every category, and I just put out the data. I listed it side by side. I'm like, to me, it's this bow wins. And people who really like the other bows, some of them kind of, said some shotting comments, at me here and there. And it's a bummer, but some people are very passionate about the brand that they like, and if they don't feel like their brand showed the best, then they kind of attack, and
right.
that's just that's people, so
Yeah.
it's
Makes
still
sense.
there sometimes, but it's not as bad,
Yeah. I had a recent guest, Jason Horton. He said, if you're not getting hate, then you're not going big enough. So he
Yeah,
loves getting that hate.
yeah, true.
um, so let's talk a little bit about, from a high level, whatever you're comfortable with, like income sources, if you don't mind. Because
Yeah,
we talked a little bit before we started, and, you know, y- people who are doing YouTube or any other platform, pretty consistently make their income from all over the place, all different ways. So
yeah.
I'm just curious from a high level if
Yeah,
you'd be willing to
so
share.
in my kind of area, archery and hunting, the hunting industry is a tough one because it's not like a lot of other industries. You'll get brand, yeah, I mean you'll get product sponsors, if you want to call it that, in a sense, like companies sending you product to use or try out. But so I'm at almost 78,000 subscribers, and not many of them are offering me any money. They're like I have several $1,000s of compound bows sitting on the floor over here next to me from different companies because they're willing to give me a bow. It doesn't cost them a whole lot to make, and it'll cost me $1,000 to buy. But they're not saying, hey, let's give you a couple $1,000s. So I'm not making in my genre. You don't make a whole lot of money from companies usually. I do have a company right now that has started to offer me like $30 every time somebody buys their bow through the link that they gave me. $30, and I think there's been about 4 or 5 people that have bought bows in the past week or two. So, $30 adds up pretty quick. I'm like, man, that could be pretty good.
Right.
If 100 of those sell over the year, bang, there's some buck. So that's pretty cool. But my main income for me is actually from YouTube, from the monetization, and from Amazon, the affiliate program. And my income is cyclical, like certain times of the years when it really goes. So this time of year is slow time of year. Um, I can expect maybe $500 a month from monetized video income, but during hunting season, it's like $2,500 a month, because that's when all the views, like my views, if I have like, you know, 900 to a million watch time right now, it's going to go up to 2.5 to 3 million during hunting season. Um, so, so anyway, that's really, and the to my surprise, the Amazon affiliate, I've been making a lot more through that than I ever anticipated when I set out. So you just, videos where you're using a particular product that you can get on Amazon, just there's a link for it in the description if you want to check it out. And several $100s a month comes in from Amazon. And hey, I'll take it, So I am
That's
nowhere near, making the type of money you would need to live off of. I mean, the money I make pays for the hobby, and but I don't know what the magic number would be for me to say, okay, this could be a full-time job type of a thing. But the amount of subscribers and views I get right now, it would probably have to be way, way higher, than where it's at
right.
now.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for sharing that and for being so transparent with it. I think that is very helpful for people to see. And then as far as have you ever asked your audience what they would be interested in? Like, have you ever like inquired to your
I
community?
actually, I don't really ask, but I do have people ask me for videos, and when I can do them, I do them. So, you know, I have like I'm actually backlogged. Here, I got food on the floor. This poor company, I feel bad. They sent me these things to try. You put them. So on your arrow, you have what's called fletching, which directs the arrow in flight. It's like little feather-looking things. This company made these little things that slide on there instead of them, and they sent them to me like I don't know 2 months ago. I told them when they sent them like, look, I am totally backlogged right now. I don't know when I'll get to test these out, and they're still sitting on the floor here. I've got I got two. I got a $1,200 bow sitting over there, and a $1,500 bow sitting right next to me that I am supposed to do review videos on. I haven't even gotten to those yet. I mean, I'm just, ugh, I just don't have time to do it all. I mean, like, I have companies sometimes asking me. So I think it was when I got to be around 10, 12, 15,000 subscribers that I had a flashlight company reach out to me and ask me to do a review. I'm like, whoa, And then like all these flashlight companies were like contacting me, and I'm like, real quick, I'm like, I don't want to be a flashlight channel, But that was kind of neat to have somebody ask me to like, we'll give it to you for free. I actually have a flashlight sitting right here. I did a review on this. This is like $100 flashlight. I've never had money, and so I would never even think of spending $100 on a flashlight. And this company, sent me one. So I've got $100 flashlight in my hand, people, because I have a YouTube channel. I mean, that's
Right.
pretty cool. So you get a lot of products too, and a lot of them I do giveaways, to viewers because
So
like, you know,
so something that I've seen people do just from other conversations I've had is, like if this was something that you were trying to push hard to go full time on,
yeah,
asking the community, even potentially creating like a specific video just for the subscribers and asking, like I've had their community have suggested like, hey, why don't you create a Patreon and I'd support it or
yeah.
stuff like that. I'm just curious if you would ever
Yeah. And
consider
one thing
that
that
or
I did a long time ago, kind of in that idea is I have a website, Sean'sOutdoorAdventures.com. My name is spelled Sean, in case anyone decides they want to go look it up. So Sean,
we'll have a
Sean's.
link to that in the
Okay.
description
So
and show notes.
so I have this website, and in multiple locations I put like a PayPal contribution button. And so I'm not nonprofit, so I can't call it a donation. But with the PayPal buttons, you can have a drop down and have like different quantities. So I set up this PayPal button like $5, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, and you can put a little like something next to it. So I'm like, helps a lot, super big help, you just blew my mind. I had like little things, and once in a while I mean people will go onto my website and just throw me $20, and they'll include a note like thanks for the videos. and that's why I kind of put the wording on there. Hey, if you ever want to support, so I do have people periodically do that, and I mean, I even had a handful of people throw me 50 or $100 at times, and I've just been like, wow, like I've in my life I've never had like 50 or $100 to just throw at somebody. So when somebody
right.
does it to me, I'm like, whoa,
Well, if
that's
you're watching
amazing.
now and you want to throw some money at his PayPal, go to his
Yeah,
website.
there you go. Go to my website. So there's like a videos page, and I just kind of have a bunch of YouTube videos embedded on it, and then I
So,
have the link on that page, and there's some other places I think I threw it in there.
so just one other idea I'll throw out there is I talked to a guy, Joe Grady from Rady's Rides. He creates YouTube videos reviewing cars. He's been doing live streams, and he'll promote the live streams, and he does them, regularly every quarter or so, or every month. And he's finding that, when you do a live stream on YouTube, the comments can start flowing through pretty fast. And there's a feature where people can pay money to have a comment sort of featured up there so that you can address it. And he didn't expect it, but he's making, hundreds of dollars doing these live streams just from the comments that come in. So just, another
Yeah,
thing for food for thought.
yeah. I've been doing some live stuff too, and when I first started doing the live ones, I did get some of those, and I was like shocked. And then I don't know what my a friend of mine jumps on there sometimes too, and he said I didn't see the little button to donate, so I don't know if a setting got changed or not. But at
Okay.
least on mine, like when I'm going live on the corner of my screen, it shows that I could contribute to my own channel. So I
Yeah.
assumed that other people could too, but maybe there's a setting that's messed up. But yeah, that's definitely a good way to get a little viewer support. Also, YouTube, like on the YouTube page, like my actual Sean's Outdoor Adventure YouTube page, it allows you to put little links, and it allows you to put a PayPal link in there. So even on my YouTube channel, I have a PayPal link, and I appear at once in a while, I get somebody who will make like a $10 donation through that.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks again for sharing all that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very wide range of pretty much everything that's going on. It's
Yeah,
great to see
and to
that.
those who are listening and watching, I mean, there's some people that they want to go be a YouTuber and be a big success and make lots of money and stuff. I mean, like I said, I've been doing it 10 years, and it's gotten better. My but you also got to be ready to roll with the punches. I know like YouTube demonetized in a major way a few years back. So a lot of the monies that I used to get went away because certain types of videos were demonetized. They could change again, or you can't just rely on it. And it's also hard sometimes to get a video to go to just really get picked up. So just try to have some realistic expectations. It's great if you
Yeah.
can hit it big and hit it fast, but also be ready for the long. Here I am 10 years in, and I'm not even at 100,000 subscribers. Some people do that in a few weeks, but I'm going to get there. I am going to hit 100,000 subscribers at some point in time. It might be another year out. It's going to happen though. And so if you are the turtle and you're ready for the long race, you'll get there, but you have to be dedicated to it. If you're going into it thinking you'll be an overnight sensation, you'll give up, because sometimes it doesn't come that easily. So you
Yeah.
just have to
And,
just got to
and
stick with it.
that's why, why influence like that. That's why we'd spend like half the time talking about your why and then half the time talking about your how, because if you don't
Yeah.
have a strong enough why, you're not going to push through all those hard times,
Yeah.
regardless of what tactics that you take.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm gonna, of course, I'm gonna put links to all your social medias, your website, everything in the show notes for this episode and in the description. And we're running a little bit low on time, so I'm just curious, before I open the floor for you just to say the best ways for people to connect with you. Do you have any last words for the listeners here today?
Oh, last words.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm a religious person. I was like, what's the first thing that comes to my mind? And of course, the first thing that came to my mind is, I encourage you to always keep God in your mind. And I personally believe God has a plan for all of us. And if you're asking Him what that plan is and trying to find it, then you're going to be doing the best you can, regardless of what it is or where it is. So I think if you want to be really fulfilled in life, try to fulfill the plan. Fulfill the plan. um, Yeah, so that would be one thing. And if YouTube fits into that plan, um, be ready to roll with the punches. Sometimes I get an idea and I think, oh, this would be a good idea, but it's not necessarily God's plan, and so it doesn't really take off. Like I had this really cool idea to start these challenge hunts I called the map reading challenge. I even started a separate YouTube channel for it, but it never really took off. And then um, I was about to say something about a different topic. I'm just going to let that slide because we're running short on time, and that could cause a huge conversation. But anyway,
All right.
I would say, you know, be ready to roll with the punches. Even if you have a good idea, it might not always be the big plan. So just roll with it. Just let it go and look for the next thing and say, all right, God, what's your plan? That's how I try to live, and I just encourage people to think about that, because if you're not doing that, then you might be fighting against the plan, and then you just feel like you're banging your head against the wall. So that's my little 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I like it. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, man.
So what's the best way for people tuning in today to get a hold of you? It sounds like you respond to as many comments on YouTube as you can,
Yeah,
so maybe go to
yeah,
YouTube. But
yeah. So I mean, if you were commenting on a video, most likely I'm going to respond to it. But really, the best way to reach me, I think, is through email. So if you're on my website, just go to the contact page and fill out the contact form, and it comes to my phone. I mean, I'll be sitting there watching a show with my wife sometimes, and my phone will alert, and somebody will sent me a question on bow tuning. So I'll quick type a response and reply, and they'll be, wow, I didn't expect you to get back so quick. So I just I just roll with it. As people reach out to me, I try to reply if I can, for the most. So I'd say that's probably one of the best ways.
okay. And so if you're listening today and you got value from what Sean shared with us, then just make sure you go to his website and shoot him an email, because
Yeah,
just share, this is what I got from it, or this is what I'm going
yeah,
to do as a result of what you said. Just share something with Sean. Go to his website. It doesn't take much time, and it'd be
yeah,
great for him to get some feedback.
yeah. Thanks.
Well, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to come on here today. Hopefully, as your journey evolves, maybe we can have you on again,
Yeah.
and see how
After
things are
I
going.
hit that 100,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I'm getting close to 80, so that's a pretty big thing. So I'd say, yeah, within about a year. I mean, just at my current rate, within a year, I should hit 100. But if I have a couple successful videos that really take off, that might happen quicker. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
awesome. Congrats on getting to this point
Thanks.
with everything, and I look forward to
Thanks,
catching up
Jeremy.
again. But
Sounds
before I
good.
let you go, actually, I'm on my journey for like trying to share and be more vulnerable and things like that.
Yeah.
So just curious if you have any feedback on the podcast, or me as a host, or just anything in general.
You want that right now?
Yeah,
I,
if you're fine with it.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I mean, well, it's my interaction with you has been great, and when you said you've been looking to improve, like being in front of the camera more or less, I thought, oh, okay, I wouldn't have expected you to say that. You know what I mean? So I think you're doing a great job. I'd say keep doing what you're doing. And uh, yeah, I think the more we are in front of the camera, the more we get used to it too. So, I mean, you're in front of the camera right now, and you've been doing this for a while. I'm sure. Are you feeling like you're getting more used to it than you used to feel like, or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, when
And
I started my podcast, my first 30 episodes were audio only
yeah,
episodes. So
yeah,
like I didn't even do video back then. Now they're live streamed. So
yeah. And if you're ever nervous, just say, "Hey guys, I'm nervous," but who cares? Who cares? Here we go. I mean, and that's you were talking about that vulnerability. Just being honest. I mean, we all can be nervous in certain situations. There's times I feel nervous, whatever. And if you just say, "Hey guys, I'm nervous," that's what being human's like. I'm nervous. Here we go. Let's do this now. And you're doing it anyway. And people can relate to that. And people who get nervous, like, yeah, he's doing a good job. I can see he's nervous, but he's still going. I would be afraid to keep going. So, yeah, I think if you ever feel like, if you ever have a moment where you're feeling that way, and you just tell people that, I think it's pretty cool. I think they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And it also, like, when I'm feeling that way, it helps me to kind of say it out loud. It helps me get over it. You know what I mean? So, but no, man, I
nice.
appreciated you. I feel like I maybe rambled too much sometimes. So if you if you were trying to say something and I cut you off, I apologize. But no, I think you did a great
That's all
job.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to come on here today. Thank you
Yeah.
for listening in and sticking to the end. Make sure you go to Sean's YouTube channel, subscribe, go to his website, shoot him an
Yeah.
email. And if you like seeing conversations like this, and consider subscribing to my channel or my podcast